Watch this field. Golden waves look rich, but the ledger bleeds underneath. Not a stunt, not an edit. This is the math that turns bumper crops into red ink. Average input per acre, about $1,150. Corn price around $3.70 a bushel. Do the division and the hill gets steep. Break-even needs roughly 310 bushels per acre. A good yield is 240, solid by any season, yet the math still runs red. Subtract the bills, the interest, the miles. What's left is a sinking line. The spreadsheet doesn't care how the field looks, only what the ledger says. Even the best can lose about $260 an acre at those prices. King corn looks mighty. The bank account calls it a debt trap. Uniformity won the shelf. Volatility took the margin. Control chains, barcodes, contracts, pretty logistics. Thinner profit. A living archive of better answers sat off the aisle, priced out by planograms, not by truth. Scanners hum, taste and margin do not scan. Here's the hook. The $1,150 trap meets a 2-hour sweetness hack. Inputs balloon, margins vanish. Meanwhile, biology offers leverage, almost free. Yield climbs, profit sinks, standardization trims flavor and dollars alike. Dashboards hit targets, cravings still chase sugar and costs. Change the metric, satisfy sweet without the load, and the math tilts back. Net effect? Health up, costs down, biology over branding. Our grandparents fixed ledgers with plants, on plates and on paper. Dollars a plant, not dollars a mile. Value grown, not shipped. One season paid the note. Flavor and resilience as revenue. Winter keepers, bowling ball steadiness. Months without a barcode. Cheap, sturdy calories. Cellar steady, bowl after bowl. 20 such keepers once anchored households. They still can. Then dashboards took over. Uniformity over taste. Throughput over profit. Craft never left. Seed savers held the line for better bites. Now, kitchens and fields can network. Aim data at flavor and resilience. Tools changed. Stakes grew. The canvas widened. Truth stayed simple. Biology beats branding. Resilience, and now sweetness, are inconvenient for the machine. So tonight, we map the 2025 collapse and the crops that offer a way out. Split screen. Corn monoculture versus diverse specialty plots. Next, the $1,150 trap. Segment 1. Open the Hilbert ledger. 30 acres of corn. Inputs already leaning red for a small outfit. Line items assemble. Seed bag, sprayer, drone. Icons click in like a checklist. Pre-emergent herbicide and nitrogen, about 80 per acre. Tillage to prep, 15. Seed is the killer. Bags over 300 covering 2 acres, about 175 per acre. Side dress nutrients, 80. Post-emergence weeds, 25. Wet year fungicide by drone, 35. Calculator ticks, subtotals climb, cells flash amber. Variable costs stack to roughly $5.15 per acre before the first ear is cut. That's the ledger talking. Numbers in red, margin thin, before harvest even starts. Segment 1 pivots. The $1,150 trap. Not theory. Paper. In a farm office, dollars decide dinner. Fixed costs loom. Principal, interest, property tax. About $560 per acre. Total, near $1,150. At 500 acres, you're gambling against a house that always wins. That's the invisible bankruptcy. Productive fields masking negative margins. Segment 2. The economic saviors. Map it first. If the math is this bad, why buy land at scale? Bill Gates owns about 242,000 acres across 18 states. Parcels scatter like pixels. Ranches, pivots, rights and roads, locked behind quiet gates. Deeds, water, mineral, and grazing rights. Paper that shapes plates more than labels do. Taylor Sheridan paid hundreds of millions for the 4/6s. Television money turning pasture into portfolio. They're not playing the family farmer game. This is leverage, water, access, genetics, and time. Next, taste back on plates. Segment 2. King Ranch, South Texas. Revenue isn't just cattle. Above, grass and gates. Below, mapped water and minerals. Fences run past the horizon, windmills punch the sky, land management at sovereign scale. Underfoot, an underground ocean, freshwater aquifers threading the strata beneath the grass. Maps shade blue beneath tan. Water rights layered under grazing and gates. Salt domes rise like buried mountains, caverns leased to the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Topsides, tanks and valves, energy banked in salt while wind brushes the grass. Stack the layers, land above, aquifer mid-deep, salt dome below. One map, many ledgers. Grass pays, water ensures, minerals leverage. One ranch, 3 engines of return. Rights-of-way stitch corridors, pipes below, gates above, access measured in valves and keys. On paper it reads like a balance sheet. On the ground, it feels like a country. Water maps, mineral deeds, grazing plans. Separate ledgers, one gate. Above, cattle and wildlife. Below, reserves and flow. 2 economies sharing one fence line. The leverage isn't loud, it's layered. Surface, subsurface, and the permits in between. Wells punch down, gauges steady. The ledger hums under open sky. King Ranch is a stack, grass to gates, aquifer to salt dome. Assets that turn land into strategy. Net effect, land, water, minerals, aligned. Above, pasture. Below, stored power. One horizon, many revenues. Segment 3. The market ban becomes a map. Gates-aligned operations cherry-pick crown jewel corridors. Testing crops for salty soil and deep drought. Satellite overlays light the pivots. Moisture maps steer valves through heat. Uniform specs ride the data. Control wins the shelf. Flavor waits off it. Autonomous sensors post to dashboards. Uptime, temps, stress. Shelf life becomes the KPI. Flavor is downgraded to variance. Satellite-controlled irrigation and AI hold yields while others fail. Pretty logistics. Quieter plates. At the fence line, anonymized plot tags mark saline grains and unfamiliar tubers. Keepers built for winter, bred for plates. Patience rows, quiet data. Names redacted, results real. Results route upstream. Checklists and contracts decide. The aisle rewards shape over taste, distance over resilience. Then, consolidation. Acreage concentrates. Decisions centralized behind gates and memos. They're farming for 2050, not 2025. Scale, capital, and maps to match. About 242,000 acres in private hands reshuffle leverage. Orbit times the pass. Pivots sweep precisely. EVAP and stress charts glow while the pumps hum. In the margins, fence trials run quiet. Saline grains, drought roots. Real science. Tastings are rare. Call it a filter. Specs upstream. Decide dinner downstream. Flavor doesn't scan. Another path remains. Keepers that store, reseed, and feed without a barcode. Pair data with taste. Measure bricks, aroma, and ripeness right storage, not just packability. Use air and data to time flavor, not freight. Drones map heat and water to hit the sweet window. That's how the ban lifts. Let performance mean taste and storage, not only miles and minutes. Keep the loop human. Shovel, shelf, season, then use tools to scale what truly tastes good. Ledger simple. Grow what keeps. Save what works. And write it down so neighbors can too. Half to the shelf, half to replant. One crop doing 2 jobs when winters run long. Respect to the keepers, growers, teachers, and sellers that make resilience taste like supper. We traded steady systems for fragile chains. Rebuild with keepers and metrics that honor flavor. Next, how air and data can help bring flavor and resilience back. Segment 3. Dawn over asparagus rows. Survival without a billionaire's bank? Stop commodities. Grow specialty profits. Asparagus is a faith crop. Crowns sleep, then 3 springs before payback. Tend the bed. Mulch deep, weeds out. As the light warms, spears rise like clocks set to morning. Do the math. Modern corn often posts roughly $800 of revenue per acre on a good year, before heavy inputs. A mature asparagus acre throws $8,000 to $12,000 year after year. Perennial spears beat annual bushels when labor and timing line up. Change the KPI from tonnage to dollars per bed. Plant crowns once, harvest 2 months every spring for decades. Frost to heat, the stand thickens. Neighbors buy first pick. Chefs pay for the morning cut. Specialty, local, resilient. Cash flow that ignores barcodes. Map the shift, let flavor fund the ledger. Next, King Ranch. Segment 3, Asparagus Sprint. Spears erupt. 10 inches in 24 hours. Miss a day and it turns to wood. Dawn to noon is the window. Biology sets the clock. Fields wake. Blades flash. Crates line the rows. Speed and skill deciding what makes the plate. Thousands race the sun, cutting by hand. Precision equals profit. Tips just closed. Lengths exact. Bundles tight. Knives tap. Rubber bands snap. Foreman calls grade. From row to crate, and crate to line, no dawdle. Sweet stays, sweet only if you move. Conveyor, rinse, chill. Hydrocoolers pull field heat before sugars slip. Clip, weigh, wrap. Cold chain engaged in minutes, not hours. Lesson logged: when biology runs fast, labor must run faster. Remember the pattern. Let nature set the tempo. Let craft keep the margin. Next, a 1930s comeback. Mortgage lifter tomato. Depression legend by mechanic Charlie Biles. Plants sold for $1 paid a $6,000 note. One fruit slices for multiple sandwiches. Stores reject irregular. Flavor pays bills anyway. Segment 4. Swartzentruber Amish. Security without sockets. Kerosene light, jars, crocks. Systems, not gadgets. A cellar breathes. Cool, dark, steady. Supper banked beneath a flame. Meat boiled about 3 hours. Heavy kettle. Quiet boil. Patient steam. Ladle to jars. Wipe the rim. A clean ring. A steady hand. Skill sets the seal. Flame times the work. Carried warm to cool shelves. Rows accept the weight, lids settle, and quiet. Label by pencil. Cut, date, shelf. Stability made by hand, stored in the dark. Shelf by shelf, calories banked, months, even years when done right. Flavor held in its own broth. Off-grid on purpose, jars, crocks, and habit do the work. Plant, cook, preserve, ledger and glass. Next, why corn math is fragile and how to pair craft with code. Segment 4. Jerusalem Artichoke. The quiet winter keeper. Plant once, it returns. Fence-line clumps under frost. Dried stalks rattle. Tubers sleep below. As nights drop, starch shifts toward sugar. Calories banked in the ground. Midwinter harvest. Fork bites through crusted snow. Lift the knobbly tubers. Shake off ice. No schedule but yours. Dig a pan's worth. Leave the rest to hold. Rinse in cold water, drain, into crates, then to cool, dark bins. Eat the big, save the small for replant. Labels on the board keep the loop turning. Simple prep: scrub, slice, oil, salt. Sheet pan, hot oven. Edges bronze. Centers go sweet and nutty. Cellar to supper without a barcode. Segment 6. Control at scale versus food that keeps. Mudanjiang Mega Farm, about 100,000 cows guided by AI and robots. Miraculous and fragile. If satellites or power fail, systems stall. On the other side, sunchokes and glass gem corn don't need satellites to thrive. Throughput runs on pumps, tags, and dashboards. Resilience runs on seed, soil, and timing. Different dependencies, different risks. Pantry math is simple. Plant keepers, cure and bin, jars on a shelf. Value holds as food, not freight. 2 ledgers, control, meters steady until the grid hiccups. Pantry, bins, jars, and keepers that bridge months. Choose metrics, flavor, storage, resilience. Heirloom independence, seed saved, rows replanted, meal ground on a stone mill. Calm, proven, low input, flavor first, no socket required. Segment 6, glass gem corn. Jewel kernels, memory you can plant. Beauty that feeds, a lineage you can hold. In the hand, ears crackle. Blue, rose, amber. One cut, many seasons if you save the best. Shell into a bowl, kernels click like beads. Label the ear, set aside seed for spring. Stone mill to meal, warm, nutty aroma rising from the burrs. Flavor first, miles 0. Skillet sings, pour, bake, lift. A steaming slice, butter slipping into the crumb. Independence tastes like this. Plant, harvest, mill, share. Supper without a barcode. Save the best, replant the line. The rainbow returns. Map it simple. Seed to skillet to neighbor. A loop you control, season by season. Choose the story you'll eat. Glass gem proves freedom fits in a seed envelope. Segment 6, winter keepers. Danish ballhead cabbage, bowling ball tight. 8 months in a cool cellar, sweeter as airdrops. Stacks breathe slow. A hook scale thumps while the thermometer mines the range. Cool, dark, quiet. The cellar does the chemistry. Frosty breath in the aisle. The dial holds near 34 to 40. As the air drops, starch turns to sugar. Colder, sweeter, steadier suppers. Tennessee sweet potato squash, halved and roasted. Dessert flesh that carries families through winter. From pan to plate, a pie slice proves it. Sweet, dense, keeper calm. Heirloom independence is simple. Plant what keeps, cook what sings, save what works, share the surplus. Let data serve flavor, and keep margin in your cellar, not the shelf. Label the jars, date the seeds. Your notes beat any barcode. Swap starts at the fence. Neighbors trade cuttings, seeds, and stories. Plant, pick, and pass it on. One small bed funds the next season. Cook it simple. Garlic, salt, a little oil. Let the heirloom do the talking. At day's end, plates glow at sunset. Flavor first. Freedom counted in jars and smiles. Int. Whiteboard summary. Day. 2025. Break-even crisis is a warning. Spending $1,150 per acre to lose money is a spiral. On the board, $1,150 acre. Red ink. Yield up, margin down. We need different math. Flavor and storage first, not miles and cosmetics. Forward equals specialty profits and agricultural sovereignty. New equation. Flavor x storage. Margin. Keepers plus low input. Pantry wealth. Grow what keeps. Cook what sings. Save what works. Let data serve the bite. The sovereignty stack. Seed, soil, cellar, community. Plant keepers. Measure flavor. Share starts. Plate by plate, the ledger turns. Sweet without sugar, full without freight. Resilience you can eat. $12,000 per acre asparagus or the mortgage lifter in your yard. Stop planting yesterday's traps. Grow tomorrow's survivors. Billionaires can buy land, they can't own a 1,000-year seed. Grow mortgage lifter, save glass gem, swap starts at the fence. Each season, a small vote for independence. Start small, start now. Full sun or a fence line. Trellis 2 rows, mulch deep, water slow. Let heat test your choices. Keep what sings through 95 and frost alike. Cook simple, garlic, salt, a little oil, and taste resilience on the plate. Save a few pods dry, label the jar, share starts with a neighbor. Next season, plant what performed, compost what didn't. The garden stops obeying barcodes and starts feeding you on your terms. One seed, one supper, one shared story at a time. Bring back Danish ballhead and Tennessee sweet potato squash. Plant 20 survival crops that laughed at drought and shrugged off frost. Subscribe for the King Ranch Underground Ocean Deep Dive. Coming next. Peace. Across these beds at golden hour, proof is small and living. A berry, a bean, a seed that remembers. On plates, heirlooms speak in juice and perfume, simple suppers that outlast fashion. Start with one trellis, one row. The meal teaches the next row. Jars on a shelf shine like promises, winter keepers that say you're in charge of February. Neighbors taste and trade. Cuttings and envelopes passed at the fence. Billionaires can own land, not the 1,000-year seed magic. Each kernel carries story and skill. Flavor, freedom, a path home for the table. Reclaim flavor, reclaim land. The path out of invisible bankruptcy starts with one bed, one seed, one supper. Shared. Peace.